When I'm working on a vehicle, I like to get everything kind of set up, everything that I could think I need, so that I don't have to go make back and forth trips to the house to get things or the garage. So in this case here, I got my lifting point on my dual axle. I like to loosen all the lug nuts while it's still on the ground so that I'm not fighting a wheel that's spinning. And so I prefer to put my foot on a T-wrench, and so that's what I'm going to do. Go ahead and get these all broke loose so that I can do this wheel work on it. That one didn't take much. No, that one didn't take much either. I've had that wheel off in less than a year, so that's the one I was having trouble with. But look at there. I can tell you these weren't torqued on. I should be able to turn them by hand. So now that they're all loose, go ahead and check this up. Now the tires I'm putting on are taller than this one that's in the rear with the brake. That one spins free, this one spins free. You know, I get kind of used to using hand tools because you know, I really wasn't raised up around battery operated tools. I have quite a few. I got air tools. Well, there goes a nut. I have air tools, but I like carrying these around in the vehicle. I have to get them. This is made in China, but as long as it's chrome plated, it tends to last pretty good and doesn't put rust on your carpet, on your floors. Trying to keep them out of the dirt. Not working on concrete here. In the dirt. We got some rain finally this summer. I know y'all been seeing how hot it was in Texas, and I was making cooking videos when it was over 100 degrees outside because I don't want to cook inside. Well, we finally got some serious rain, and that washed out my whole driveway. Now, I showed earlier in a different video, use a nice big piece of stock steel here and a hammer to get this cap off. If you just go like back and forth like that with a knife, once you got a good edge on it, it'll take it off instead of prying it with a screwdriver or picking at it. This is the first time I've had these break out. Don't really think that should have been that loose, but it is. The bearing will try to fall off and land in the dirt. Fell out in my hand, the washer. There you go, back in my hand. And surprise! Still got some life in the drum. It looks like I managed to keep, there's no dirt up in that bearing. I'll feel it with my finger later. Like I say, I met the fellow that I bought this from auction. Nice man, he took care of his stuff. He restored tractors. So one thing I didn't get was my brush to get all this cobweb out of here. I'd say that that spring's still on, that spring's still on, these are still attached. The wire's not chafed. Of course, this is not moving as freely as I want it to, so that'll be lubricated. Pads aren't peeling off. I think we're good here on this one. That's a solid block of wood. You can see the center of the tree? That's a nice solid block of wood. I've got a few of those. where it's not just a part of a tree. That's the center. Now, up front here is the freewheeling axle. It's not the when the threads are a little bit tough to get the nut off. I know some of you might not agree with it, but an old timer told me just turn the wheel. Just hold the wrench and whoop, that'd be tightening. Just turn the wheel and let the wheel, it's got all that what is it called? It's got that all that energy in it spinning around such a large item. It does the work for you. Since it's up in the air. Oh, another thing, I've seen folks in other videos, they'll use one wheel to jack the trailer up and just run up over a piece of wood or something like that. I can see that on the side of the highway where you don't have a whole lot of time to work on something because it's dangerous. And jacking a vehicle and having all this sitting out in the open would be tough. I had a flat on my horse trailer, and luckily it was on the grass side of the road, so I was able to do it. But it was a very busy road, and the big trucks, when they went by, would push my horse trailer off and toss it around. And I had a spare, and took it straight to the tire store. Got another spare because I didn't want to have two blowouts at one trip. Yep. This tire didn't rub the fender. I think that someone told me that it's possible that the axle could be to one side or the other just a little too much. I don't know how much gap there was, but you can see there's a trace here. And that might have been just from when I was spinning the tire, taking that nut off. There's a little bit of a trace right here, but there's no big wear, like a big shiny spot where it was doing it over and over again. So that axle turns pretty free. Brakes look good. Same process. Just get that sharp edge of that knife and get it right between the cap and the wheel, and just kind of roll it. Want to get that up. All right. This will, the other side was also a little thin on the grease. It was it's a red grease. It wasn't what I normally use, and it looked like that was the one where I did the bearings, and I took them out, and they had a little bit of rust in it, so I had to spray them with some brake clean. It's pretty nice. Some nice red grease up in there. And that dust cap protects it quite a bit. Keeps you got to keep dust caps on them if you care about the bearings. And when you're hauling 4,000-pound automobile, it's not a good thing to have bearing up there getting chewed up by some dirt. So there's nothing to do on this axle except just throw my grease that I like. Over here I'm going to have to brush all this off, and then reassembly is just reverse process. Put the parts back on it, put the tires on, and torque it this time, and I'll be ready to go to the No Name Nationals, Sikeston, Missouri. Google says it's a 9-hour trip. It'll take me 14 because I don't drive fast, and I'm hauling it with a 2500 Silverado, and I stop. And so yeah, I'll see y'all there. Thanks for watching.